Hi, this is Mike Stewart with Mike Stewart Relationship Coaching. I keep running into this question online when I'm looking in marriage groups and I'm looking at different boards where people are having problems with relationships. And this particular question is, why does my husband want to argue and fight with me all the time? And from my experience, one of the reasons why your husband may want to do this, and there could be many reasons, but one of the primary reasons is that was how his father dealt with conflict or things that were confrontational when he was growing up. And I can share with you a story from my upbringing. Is I had an uncle that every time something was brought up that was uncomfortable to him, he didn't want to talk about it, so he would get angry as a defensive mechanism, so he wouldn't become um, trapped or he wouldn't feel vulnerable in any way, because he was always taught that you need to be tough. You cannot show emotion. And my whole childhood, I do not remember my uncle ever showing emotions. And that was one thing that I noticed in and this happens in a lot of homes where couples are fighting all the time, is both the husband and the wife, they learned how to discuss things by how their parents modeled it for them. And so a lot of these behaviors, when we get put under stress, all we can do is go back to what we know. And that is what the way our parents handled these situations. And unless we become aware of that we're doing this, we feel like we don't have any control over it. But I'm here to tell you, you do have control over it. But it does take practice to notice when you're doing it. But one way to stop this from happening, if your husband constantly wants to fight and argue with you, is to stop and tell your husband, I love you. I don't want to argue and fight anymore. Let's just separate for a few minutes so we could both calm down, and then we could come back and talk about what's happening, because I don't want to argue anymore. I want to be able to have conversations together and discuss things that is important to our relationship without fighting about it, without arguing about it. And so if we could do that, if we could just part for 10 minutes, put a timer on, and then come back together and talk about what happened and why. And it can make a huge difference. But the goal is to not let it continue to get heated. Excuse me. But when you come from a point of love, it only takes one of you to bring that up, is to say, I love you and I don't want to fight anymore. I want to be able to talk about things that are stressful or things that are important to our marriage and our family without arguing. So if you found this valuable, please leave a comment down below. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, my website is Mike Stewart Relationship Coaching. And I will also put my calendar link in the in somewhere below this video, so that you can actually get a free 30-minute coaching session with me to help see how I could give you some tools now to help you in your relationship and help bring more harmony into your marriage. This is Mike Stewart with Mike Stewart Relationship Coaching, and I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help married couples create harmony in their marriage again. I had to go through this process myself, and so that's why I want to share it with other married couples, to be able to help them be able to talk about anything that's between them and do it based on love and a team effort, so that we both win. This is Mike Stewart with Mike Stewart Relationship Coaching. Have a great evening.